The morning that shattered the block. The cul-de-sac was quiet, almost peaceful, until Karen stormed out of her house, a storm cloud in human form. Across the street, a sleek SUV sat in her spot, gleaming like it was daring her to act. Fingers trembling, she pulled out her phone and dialed the HOA, muttering threats under her breath. Cameras from windows clicked into life. Neighbors whispered excitedly, sensing the spectacle about to unfold. Karen's confidence radiated like heat, but something in the back of her mind tickled unease. She approached the SUV, waving a printed reserved parking notice like a sword, and shouted, "Move it, or I'll have it towed." The driver stepped out calmly, sipping coffee like he hadn't a care in the world. Karen's rage intensified, voice booming, as neighbors secretly filmed every moment. And then, without warning, a tow truck rolled slowly into the street, engine purring, but the driver didn't move immediately. Karen froze, expecting instant obedience. The driver's calm gaze cut through her fury like a knife. "Do you have authorization from the HOA?" he asked quietly, almost mockingly. Karen's heart skipped. She had not submitted any paperwork. Her voice faltered for a split second, though she tried to hide it. Neighbors leaned closer to their cameras, phones ready to capture every second of the inevitable meltdown. And just as Karen opened her mouth to demand compliance, the SUV driver raised his phone and started recording. "You can't tow this car without permission," he said, calmly but firmly. Karen's fists clenched, and she realized she might be in real trouble. Karen's eyes widened as the driver smiled at her, and in that heartbeat, she knew everything was about to spiral out of control. The tow truck trap. Karen's hands trembled as she waved her papers frantically, trying to assert control. "I've called the HOA. They'll tow it immediately," she shouted, voice cracking slightly. The SUV driver just leaned casually against his car, with phone in hand, recording everything. His calm smile sent a chill down Karen's spine, but she refused to show fear. The tow truck driver, a tall man with an unreadable expression, finally stepped closer. Karen puffed her chest out. "You must tow it." "It's my spot," she demanded. The man tilted his head slowly, voice low and measured. "Ma'am, I cannot tow a vehicle without proper authorization. That's the law." His calm tone, almost terrifying in its steadiness, made Karen hesitate. The crowd of neighbors, hidden with their phones, held their breath, sensing the perfect viral chaos forming. Karen tried to regain power, pointing at a no parking sign across the street. "This proves it. I have the right," she cried. The SUV driver shook his head, voice calm and firm. "Rules are for everyone. You don't get to decide who follows them." Karen's chest heaved. Sweat formed on her forehead. Every shout she made seemed smaller than before. The power was slipping from her fingers. Suddenly, a teenager from across the street stepped into view, phone rolling. "Smile, Karen. Everyone's watching." The crowd of neighbors erupted into whispers and soft laughter. Karen's face turned crimson as she realized the humiliation wasn't just coming. It was live, recorded, immortal. She spun toward the tow truck driver, desperation creeping into her voice. "You have to tow it. Now!" The driver's eyes didn't flicker. "I follow the rules," he said simply, voice calm, unshakable, almost a predator's patience in human form. Karen's knees felt weak. The SUV driver leaned closer, phone pointed at her, recording every frantic gesture. The tension thickened. The street felt like a pressure cooker. Karen's fury exploded into wild hand gestures, pointing at every inch of the neighborhood she claimed as hers. "This is my property," she screamed, but her words lost force against the unflinching calm of the driver and the recorded audience. Phones clicked, windows opened, neighbors filmed, whispering, "She's losing it." Then came the next danger. A small group of children playing nearby tripped over the scene. Bumping into the SUV, Karen gasped, pointing fingers, shouting about negligence, trying to redirect chaos in her favor. But instead, every action was captured from multiple angles, every misstep making her look more irrational. Panic started to seep in. She noticed the HOA representative finally arriving, walking slowly, deliberately, taking in every detail. His eyes scanned Karen and the SUV, calm but terrifying. like a judge about to deliver verdict. Karen's voice faltered. I just want what's mine,
she stammered.
realization dawning that her perfect plan might be crumbling before her eyes. The tow truck driver finally leaned on the hood of his truck, crossed arms unshaken. Without authorization, nothing moves. Rules aren't negotiable, he said quietly, letting the words hang in the air. Karen's fists unclenched involuntarily. Her voice wavered. The entire street held its breath, recording, ready to share. Karen's eyes darted between the SUV, the tow truck, and the HOA rep, heart-pounding. She knew she had seconds to act before total humiliation. And the next shocking moment would decide everything. Karen's authority crumbles. Karen backed up a step, her chest heaving as the HOA representative walked closer, calm and deliberate, each footstep echoing like a drumbeat of judgment. The SUV driver's phone continued recording, his eyes unblinking like a predator sizing up his prey. Karen's voice trembled slightly, but she tried to regain control. You can't just ignore me. I called first. The HOA rep's gaze pierced her, calm but absolutely terrifying. Ma'am, he said slowly, voice steady, authorization must be verified before any vehicle is towed. Your call does not override the rules. Karen's fists clenched, and then unclenched, her power slipping further with every word. Neighbors leaned closer to their windows, phones raised, capturing every moment of her unraveling. Suddenly, a small crowd of neighbors stepped into the street, filming from every angle. One whispered to another, "This is going viral before lunch." Karen noticed them and tried to shout over the whispers, "Move back! This is private property." But her words sounded smaller, weaker. Panic began to seep into her eyes. Then a danger she hadn't counted on. The SUV driver casually walked closer, still recording, calm and unafraid. "Ma'am, I'm happy to wait until the HOA approves," he said, his calmness making Karen's anger boil, but her authority collapse further. Every attempt to dominate the situation only made her look more frantic. On camera, the tow truck driver tapped his clipboard, waiting patiently, his calm presence a stark contrast to Karen's spiraling energy. Without proper authorization, "I cannot act," he repeated. Karen's voice cracked. She tried to assert herself again, pointing wildly, "This is my spot. I deserve it." But her gestures seemed frantic, chaotic, almost cartoonish to the recording cameras surrounding her. A sudden shout from a neighbor drew her attention. A teen pointed at her, laughing, "Karen, everyone's watching. Smile for the cameras." Her face turned crimson. The sense of being trapped under every eye, every lens, made her panic spike. She started pacing, papers flying from her hands, each movement captured by dozens of phones. Karen's attempts to regain authority failed spectacularly. She shouted at the SUV driver, at the tow truck, even at the HOA rep, but no one flinched. The calm authority figures, the silent recording neighbors, and the looming crowd combined to create a cage of tension around her. Her breathing grew rapid, her power fading. Then came the next danger. A car horn blared from the street behind her, startling Karen and the SUV driver alike. The sudden noise, amplified by the chaotic scene, made Karen spin around, almost tripping over the curb. Cameras caught every second of her stumble, her panic escalating visibly for viewers. Karen froze, looking at the HOA rep, the tow truck, the SUV, and the growing crowd. The calm, almost terrifying gaze of authority met her frantic eyes, and she realized she was completely exposed. Her perfect plan was collapsing in real time. Karen's pulse raced as she realized there was no way out. Every neighbor recording, every authority figure unshaken, and the next shocking twist would either destroy her completely or change everything. The neighborhood watches Karen crumble. Karen's hands were shaking now, papers scattered on the asphalt, fluttering like helpless birds. Her voice, once commanding, had become a strangled shout. "This is my spot. I called first," she screamed. But the calm gaze of the HOA representative cut through her fury like a blade. Every word she yelled seemed smaller, weaker, almost meaningless against his silent authority. The SUV driver slowly circled his car, phone still rolling, calm and deliberate. "I've done nothing wrong," he said softly, almost mocking her without raising his voice. The neighbors' phones clicked furiously. capturing every tremor of her panic, every flail of her hands. Karen realized with horror that every movement she made was public. Now, her control slipping faster than she could comprehend. Then came a new danger. A toddler from across the street ran into the scene, chasing a ball that bounced. Perilously close to the SUV, Karen lunged to stop the child, tripping over her own heels, and the cameras caught it all. A collective gasp echoed from the watching neighbors. Her panic spiked. Her perfect image of authority was crumbling before hundreds of digital witnesses. She straightened, voice cracking, and demanded, "Tow it! I want it towed now." But the tow truck driver, calm and unshakable, shook his head. "Without HOA authorization, I cannot act," he said slowly, letting the words hang in the air like a trap. Karen's mouth opened in disbelief. Every attempt to assert dominance failed spectacularly. Suddenly, the SUV driver stepped closer, whispering calmly but firmly, "I will wait for the HOA. There is nothing you can do until then." The casual confidence in his tone turned Karen's panic into desperation. Her gestures grew wild, arms flailing, trying to cover the collapse of her authority. Phones everywhere recorded the spectacle, live-streaming her meltdown. Another danger appeared. The HOA rep's assistant stepped forward with a clipboard, silently verifying the rules and papers. Karen's heart raced. Each step the calm authority figures took seemed to shrink her presence, crush her fury, and magnify her panic. Her eyes darted frantically, searching for allies, but every neighbor, every teen, every camera was watching. A car horn blared again from the cul-de-sac, startling Karen further. She spun, tripped over her papers, and fell to one knee. The neighbors' whispers escalated into laughter and awe, phones clicking, filming every humiliating second. Karen's breathing grew ragged, her confident facade completely shattered. She tried to shout one last command, voice hoarse, I demand you tow it now!" But the calm, terrifying gaze of the HOA representative silenced her. Every eye on the block, every phone, every camera was trained on her, and her authority had evaporated in real time. Karen's panic was now full-blown, and she realized that the next second would determine if she could recover or be exposed forever. Karen's eyes darted frantically between the tow truck, the SUV, and the HOA rep, her heartbeat pounding in her ears. And in that moment, she knew the next move would either save her or destroy her completely. Karen's perfect plan explodes. Karen's knees shook as she stumbled backward, papers scattered across the asphalt like defeated soldiers. Her voice, once sharp and commanding, now wavered. I called the HOA. You have to tow it." But the SUV driver's calm stare, phone still rolling, stripped every ounce of power from her words. The quiet confidence of the tow truck driver and the HOA rep surrounded her like a wall she couldn't break through. Then a new danger appeared. A drone flew overhead, hovering silently, capturing her every frantic movement from above. Karen's eyes widened in terror. "Is this even legal?" she screamed, swinging her arms, trying to regain control. The neighbors' phones clicked relentlessly, live-streaming every second. Panic tightened its grip around her chest like a vice. A group of teens stepped closer, whispering to each other with barely contained laughter. "She's losing it. Look at her." Karen spun toward them, pointing and shouting, "Back off! This is private property." But her words fell flat. The calm authority figures didn't flinch, and the SUV driver's serene composure made her look small, irrational, exposed. Another danger struck when a neighbor opened their garage, letting a loud radio blast through the street. Karen flinched violently, nearly tripping over the papers again. Every sound, every movement was amplified in the chaos she couldn't control. Sweat dripped down her face, her hair sticking to her forehead, as she realized she was utterly exposed. The neighborhood and the internet watching her unravel. Karen tried to make a final show of authority, stepping toward the tow truck. "I demand it be towed now!" she shrieked, voice cracking. But the HOA rep, calm and terrifying, raised a single hand. The simple gesture froze her in place, like a predator halting its prey. Karen's confidence shattered completely. The power she clung to moments ago had slipped through her fingers entirely. The SUV driver, still calm, slowly circled his car, phone raised. "We will wait for proper authorization," he said, voice soft but commanding. Karen's frantic gestures became almost comical under the watchful eyes of the cameras, but the tension was real, every neighbor recording, every second amplifying her collapse. Then came the final danger for this moment. The tow truck driver checked his paperwork aloud, voice echoing through the street. "No authorization, no action. End of story." Karen's hands dropped to her sides. Her chest heaved. Her face was red with humiliation and panic. Every move she had made, every yell, every frantic order had been captured in high definition, immortalized online. Karen spun to the HOA rep, desperate for support, her voice shaking. "You have to do something." I'm right." The calm, terrifying stare that met her eyes made her stomach drop. She realized there was no escape. Her perfect plan had imploded, and the neighborhood, every neighbor, and the cameras had witnessed it all. A small child's laughter echoed from the sidewalk, and a neighbor whispered excitedly, "This is going viral in minutes." Karen froze. Her mind raced. Every attempt to regain control only highlighted her failure. Her panic now consumed her, leaving nothing of the confident authority figure she once believed she was. Karen's eyes darted between the SUV, the tow truck, and the unshaken HOA rep, heartbeat racing, palms sweating, knowing that the next second would either save her dignity or expose her forever to the world. The viral twist that shattered Karen. Karen staggered back, face flushed, as a sudden burst of laughter erupted from the sidewalk. A neighbor had live-streamed the entire confrontation, already gathering hundreds of views. Her panic spiked. The world was watching her unravel, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. She clutched her papers like a lifeline, but every flail, every shout only made her humiliation more public. The SUV driver's calm stare never wavered. "Ma'am, your time has passed. We follow the rules," he said, voice soft but chilling, each word a dagger to her pride. Karen's fists clenched, then dropped helplessly. The tow truck driver stepped closer, silent but massive in his presence, like a stone wall she could never break. Karen's breathing grew shallow. Panic was now full-blown. Another danger struck. A group of neighbors began stepping into the street, filming from every angle, their whispers mixing with snickers. "Look at her lose it," one teen muttered, phone raised high. Karen spun toward them, yelling, "Back off! You have no right." But the authority figures didn't flinch. Her panic deepened. Every second felt like it was being broadcast worldwide. Then a new twist. Karen's dog, usually calm, bolted from her yard into the middle of the street, barking furiously at the SUV. Phones clicked furiously. Karen lunged after it, tripping over her papers, nearly falling into the asphalt. The crowd erupted in whispers and laughter. Panic overtook her carefully constructed authority. She realized she could not control anything anymore. The HOA rep stepped forward, calm but terrifying, inspecting Karen's papers and then looking at her directly. "Authorization is missing. No vehicle can be towed. Rules are clear," he said, each word slow and deliberate. Karen's voice faltered. "But I called first. I... Her words stumbled, drowned by the increasing crowd and the relentless recording cameras. A new danger arose. A car horn blared behind the SUV, a neighbor leaning out of a window shouting something unintelligible. Karen spun, disoriented, nearly bumping into the tow truck. Her face was red, sweat dripping, and she realized she was completely surrounded, captured, and exposed. Her perfect plan was collapsing in live, real time. The SUV driver raised his phone toward the sky, recording every angle, calm and unbothered. Karen's gestures became frantic, her panic visible for all to see. Every neighbor, teen, and hidden camera became a magnifying glass for her humiliation. Her authority had evaporated, replaced entirely by raw panic. Then came the final danger of the moment. The HOA rep's assistant stepped forward with a clipboard, quietly nodding. The crowd of neighbors hushed in anticipation, phones raised. All eyes on Karen. She realized in a heartbeat there was no escape, no intervention, no way to reclaim control. Karen's eyes widened in terror, heart pounding, palms sweaty as she realized. The next second would either give her a way out or cement her meltdown for the entire neighborhood and the internet. forever. Karen's world collapses on camera. Karen's knees buckled as the reality of the situation hit her. Every neighbor, every teen, every camera phone was recording her meltdown. Her voice, once sharp and commanding, now wavered like a frightened animal. I just want my spot. I called first, she gasped, paper clutched so tightly it tore. The HOA representative, calm and terrifying, stepped forward. His voice was measured, deliberate, and every word carried the weight of authority. Ma'am, rules are rules. Authorization must be verified. Nothing will move until then. Karen's eyes darted frantically between the tow truck, the SUV, and the calm, piercing gaze of the HOA rep. Panic was now fully rooted in her chest, spreading to every limb. A sudden danger erupted. A neighbor leaned out from a second-floor balcony, live-streaming the chaos while shouting, "Karen's losing it! Everyone watch this!" Phones clicked from every angle. The pressure, the exposure, the humiliation, it all crashed down on her like a tidal wave. Her confident persona evaporated, replaced entirely by raw panic. Then another danger. The SUV driver stepped closer, still recording, calm and unfazed. "Ma'am, I will wait for proper authorization." "There's nothing you can do," he said softly, every word like ice in Karen's veins. Her arms flailed, voice cracking. You can't do this." But the calm, terrifying authority figures didn't budge. Every shout, every desperate gesture was captured on camera, immortalized for the neighborhood and the internet to see. Small child's ball rolled toward Karen's papers, scattering them even further. She lunged to grab them, tripping again, almost hitting the SUV. Phones clicked endlessly. The crowd erupted in whispers and laughter. Karen's panic spiked. She realized she had no control, no allies, no way to salvage the situation. Every neighbor recording amplified her humiliation. Then came the final twist of the moment. The HOA rep's assistant held up a phone, showing a live stream of Karen's meltdown already trending online. The sight of herself, flustered, tripping, yelling, exposed in real time, pushed her panic into overdrive. Stop recording!" she screamed, voice cracking completely. But it was too late. Every moment was captured, every gesture magnified. The SUV driver raised his phone higher, recording a slow, deliberate pan of Karen's chaos. The calm, terrifying authority of the HOA rep and the tow truck driver surrounded her like walls of steel, making every flail, every desperate scream look small and powerless. Karen's eyes darted in panic, realizing she had lost control entirely. Karen's heart raced, mind spinning. She had seconds to act, but the cameras, the neighbors, and the calm authority figures were all watching. One wrong move now, and her meltdown would be immortalized forever, forcing every viewer to stay for the next shocking moment. Chaos engulfs the cul-de-sac. Karen's chest heaved, sweat dripping down her temples as the street erupted around her. Phones clicked from every angle, neighbors filming, teens laughing, and the drone hovering silently above, capturing her every frantic movement. Her papers were scattered across the asphalt, trampled underfoot, and each step she took made her look smaller, more powerless. The SUV driver remained calm, almost predatory in his serenity, phone recording steadily. "Rules apply to everyone," he said softly, voice carrying across the chaos. Karen's arms flailed wildly, attempting to reclaim authority, but each movement only emphasized her panic. Every neighbor recording amplified her humiliation, sending it toward viral immortality. Another danger struck. A cyclist accidentally swerved near the scene, forcing Karen to leap back, tripping over her own papers again. Cameras captured it all, her stumble, her panic, every frenzied gesture, turning her perfect plan into a viral spectacle. Sweat dripped from her forehead, her breathing ragged, her voice cracking with desperation. The HOA rep stepped forward, calm and terrifying, each footstep deliberate. "Authorization is required before any action," he said, voice low and unyielding. Karen froze mid-gesture, realizing that the authority surrounding her was absolute. The crowd hushed slightly, phones raised, waiting for the next moment of chaos. Then came the next danger. The neighborhood dog ran into the middle of the scene, barking and adding to the confusion. Karen lunged to grab it, stumbling into the SUV's side. The driver's calm smile didn't waver, but her panic skyrocketed. Phones clicked, live streams continued, and every neighbor's whisper seemed to mock her. A teen shouted from across the street, "She's losing it! Stream this!" The drone panned over the scene, capturing Karen's full meltdown from above. Her frantic movements shouted commands, and wild gestures were now immortalized for everyone to see. Karen's panic was total, her authority gone. Suddenly a car horn blared, startling Karen again. She spun, nearly falling into the tow truck, papers flying everywhere. The HOA rep's calm, terrifying presence didn't falter. The SUV driver stepped closer, still recording, each movement deliberate. Karen's mind raced. She was trapped, exposed, surrounded, and every second was being broadcast. Karen's eyes darted wildly between the tow truck, the SUV, the HOA rep, and the hundreds of phones capturing her chaos. She realized the next second would either redeem her or cement her meltdown for the entire neighborhood forever. Karen's collapse becomes legendary. Karen's knees buckled completely, and she fell onto the asphalt, clutching her papers like a lifeline she no longer had. Her chest heaved, voice cracking. I just want what's mine. I called first, but the calm, piercing gaze of the HOA representative made her words feel meaningless. Every neighbor filming, every phone pointed at her, made the panic consume her entirely. A sudden new danger erupted. A group of kids ran into the scene, laughing, bumping into Karen as she scrambled to her feet. The SUV driver stepped aside, phone still recording, calm as a predator circling prey. Karen's frantic gestures became almost cartoonish, but each one amplified the chaos. Her authority had vanished, replaced entirely by panic. Then came another danger. A neighbor opened a garage, and a loud radio blasted, shaking the street. Karen spun, papers flying, nearly hitting the SUV. Phones clicked relentlessly, live streams capturing every second of her meltdown. The HOA rep and tow truck driver stood calmly, unshaken, their mere presence magnifying Karen's panic. Karen tried one last show of control, stepping forward, voice hoarse. "Tow it! I demand it now!" The HOA rep's calm voice sliced through her desperate words. "No authorization. Nothing will move." Karen's shoulders slumped. Her power had completely evaporated. Every action, every shout, every flail had been immortalized on dozens of devices. Another danger struck. A dog barked loudly, startling Karen again, and a horn blared from the street behind her. She stumbled, tripping over her own papers, and the crowd erupted in whispers, laughter, and the rapid clicking of phones. Her panic surged to its maximum. The meltdown was complete, and the scene was now pure chaos. The SUV driver stepped closer, calm and deliberate, phone recording every inch of the spectacle. Karen's frantic eyes darted to the tow truck, the HOA rep, and the growing crowd of neighbors. Her confidence, her authority, her perfect plan, all gone. She was exposed entirely, every second of failure immortalized. The HOA rep slowly walked toward her, calm but terrifying, checking the papers again. Karen froze, realizing she had no leverage, no allies, no escape. Every neighbor, every camera, every witness reinforced the reality she had lost completely. Then came the final danger of the moment. The drone above captured a wide shot of the chaos. Karen flailing, neighbors filming, SUV untouched, HOA calm. Every detail was immortalized in high definition. Panic consumed her completely, leaving only desperation and humiliation. Karen's eyes widened in absolute terror, heart hammering, as she realized the next second could either save her dignity or cement her meltdown in viral history forever. Karen's meltdown goes viral. Karen sank to the curb, face red and chest heaving, as the street buzzed with cameras and whispered commentary. Every neighbor's phone was recording, every angle immortalizing her meltdown. The SUV sat untouched. The tow truck driver remained calm and immovable, and the HOA rep's piercing gaze made Karen feel smaller than ever. Her perfect plan was gone, obliterated in front of the entire cul-de-sac. Then a new danger appeared, One of the neighbors posted the live stream online, instantly gathering likes, shares, and comments. Karen's phone buzzed with notifications she hadn't even seen, each one a tiny dagger in her pride. Panic surged through her veins. Her arms flailed helplessly, papers fluttering in the wind. Every movement magnified for the digital audience. The SUV driver's calm smirk didn't falter. He stepped aside, phone raised, recording a slow pan of Karen's full collapse. Every gesture, every frantic shout, every stumble. The neighborhood and the internet were watching, captivated. Karen realized that her meltdown was no longer local. It was viral, unstoppable, immortal. Another danger. A group of kids started mimicking her wild gestures for fun, laughing and pointing at her. Phones captured the mockery. Neighbors whispered excitedly, "She's trending already." Karen's panic skyrocketed. She tried to shout over them, but her words sounded small, weak, swallowed by the chaos. Her authority, already gone, had completely evaporated. The HOA rep and tow truck drivers stood silently, their calm presence terrifying in its steadiness. Karen's frantic attempts to regain control only highlighted her desperation. Every flail, every yell, every tear was being broadcast to dozens of devices. Her humiliation growing with every second. Suddenly, a drone captured a sweeping aerial view. Karen in the center of the street, surrounded by phones, neighbors, and authority figures. The viral potential was clear. Every neighbor recording, every live stream viewer witnessing the spectacle. Karen's panic was total, her plan entirely demolished. Karen tried one last desperate plea. "Please, someone help!" Her voice cracked, trembling. But the calm gaze of the HOA rep cut through her like a knife. "There is nothing to help. Rules are rules," he said, quiet but terrifying. Her eyes widened. She realized she had no escape, no allies, and no authority left. Then came the final danger. The neighborhood cat darted across the street, startling her into another stumble. Captured in perfect slow motion by dozens of cameras, the chaos was complete. Her meltdown had become a spectacle, viral before she even knew it. Karen's frantic gestures slowed, her chest heaving. As she looked around at the neighborhood recording, laughing and whispering, her power was gone, her authority demolished, and her humiliation etched into digital history. The calm, terrifying HOA and tow truck presence had ensured her meltdown reached its maximum intensity. Karen's eyes filled with tears, pulse hammering as she realized the story wasn't over. The next second could either give her a shred of redemption or cement her meltdown forever in viral legend.